May all minds be purified. May there be peace in the community. May there be no disasters in this world. Together we pray for universal love and blessing. With loving respect, gratitude, and confidence, let us wish every person in our lives a healthy body, an enlightened mind, and a total fulfillment in universal love. Now let us expand this consciousness to include every person in the world, every being in the universe. Let our unified love make this wonderful world even better. Let us all immerse ourselves in the joyful embrace of universal love. Before we hear the wonderful sharing, let us invite our boat masters to lead us in paying homage to the Triple Gem. Let us pay our respects for these teachings and explanations to the Buddha, Master Cheng Yen, by making 3 sincere bows. Please rise. Palms together. First bow, second bow, third bow. And a bow to our beloved abode masters who could join us today. Okay, before we hear today's wonderful sharing, I will share the summary of last week. First. Okay, last week we had Brother Joe who spoke about, he looks back on what was shared the past weeks, taking it slow, making sure the foundation truly sticks. We spoke of teachers and traits, and the traits they would show, not perfect, but willing to learn and to grow. Some students do only what they are asked to do, while others seek more, pushing themselves to break through. Teachers too can just teach or go beyond the call, lifting their students, helping them rise and stand tall. Now we enter a chapter that speaks about praise, using one voice in harmony in countless ways. A student learns not just to gain something new, but to teach in the future to pass it through. Like working not just for money, but for a dream. The right mindset shapes how things truly seem. Celestial gifts, flowers, jewels descended from the sky, offerings of devotion, honor, and meaning held high. There are two ways to praise, both humble and true. One lifts another while one reflects within you. Brother Joe once overlooked Master Cheng Yan's name, only later realizing her impact and endless flame. Other Buddhist groups see Tzu as something rare, a treasure to the world, something beyond compare. It's not just a task or a role to play, but something so precious we cherish each day. Before 1966, none of this even existed. Now is a path on which we are all enlisted. The word of the day is celestial, so vast and bright, a reminder to treasure the teachings inside. The Dharma is precious, a rare chance to receive, to learn and to grow, to trust and believe. With one knee bent, palms pressed with devotion deep, voices unite and the sacred praises leap. Okay, that is Brother Joe. Now we listen to the summary on Sister Hui's sharing last week on beautiful transformation. Sister Hui first joined as a mother and guest. Seeking Zizi's kindness, she knew it was best. She once pushed her daughters to study with fear, locking them out when results weren't clear. Later, she spoiled them with gifts and more, but something inside felt off at the core. Listening to Master, she changed her way, bringing her kids to serve, not just to play. A mother's word on raising CEOs caught her sight. Community work shaped their future so bright. Serving the world is saving loved ones too. A safe society starts with me and you. In 2010, she made a bold choice, leaving her job to follow her voice. A pay cut lost perks, but service was key. She found her path into this decree. She traveled for missions to lands far wide, bringing comfort, standing by those who cried. France, Serbia, and the Philippines too. Wherever there is need, she follows through. A sabbatical year in Cambridge was spent, learning and growing wherever she went. She taught in Nepal and Bulgaria's halls, sharing wisdom beyond borders and walls. In 2024, her research took flight, studying TCM to dengue. All right. During COVID, she was a virologist. She as a virologist, served with skill and mind, giving back to Malaysia, who to her has been so kind. Who called? WHO called, and honors came near. But her purpose in service remains crystal clear. Now she still travels, but not for gain. Each step she takes is to ease someone's pain. Looking back, her path shines so bright, a life of meaning made by a decision in 2010, which was just right. And then Brother G spoke about the beauty in group cultivation. Brother G spoke of the power in gathering as one, a space for learning that shines like the sun. Rain or shine, the volunteers return each day of the week, seeking wisdom, letting their hearts speak. Sister Su Ching had asked him to share, but he kept delaying, lost in the air. Festivals passed and then the months flew by. Before long, he saw his own delay with a sigh. He tells his kids never to wait, yet he himself had sealed his fate. His wife, though busy, always attends. She says the mornings help her transcend. Even when fault was never hers, she says sorry, letting things reverse. Curious, he finally sat to hear. The wisdom's truth became so clear. Sister Effie spoke of self-reflection's need, or ego might take the lead. Brother Chin shared a thought so wise. Learn, unlearn, relearn, and see new skies. His wife was eager to put into practice and grow. while he thought there was nothing to know. True wisdom looks like foolish ways, but now he sees it in her days. Small requests she made to let him feel that helping her gave life appeal. Though he stays, though he stays outside, he now sees this platform has shaped his destiny. On his birthday, with love so wide, he honored his mother with heartfelt pride. Okay, Kanan for listening. I know it's very long. That's a lot of speakers. Then I'll hand over to Brother Chin to introduce our next speaker. Brother Chin, over to you. Is Brother Chin around? Wait now, let me see.
It's okay, Garden, Sister Su Ching, for the most summary of last Saturday session. Wow, truly every time listening to Sister Su Ching's recounting the footprints, always feel so much happiness, Dharma bliss. Okay, dear Master, Masters, brothers and sisters, very good morning. Today we are supposed to start off with Brother Joe's session, but because Brother Joe, he has a last minute request to go to Jingsi Hall to keep a sharing, so in replacement, we would like to invite our guiding readers, the materials from the guiding reader site to share. Okay, let me share the. Okay, advance. Okay, let me share the materials first. Who is the guiding reader for this week? Okay, let's see. Okay, we are most grateful to have this sister Su Ching from USA, her materials from online book study. Wait, let me get it right. Okay, how? Okay, Sister Su Ching from USA, she did this guiding reader on great potential in education about our education mission on 12 February 2025 at Kaohsiung online book session. This one is actually taken from the 2023 winter edition from 12th of May until 12th of November 2023. Okay, according to Sister Su Ching, during the time when she was sharing that edition, Tzu Chi already entered the 35 years. 35 years already. So today we continue our journey through Master Cheng Yen's footprints, focusing on the progress from December 5th to December 11th. So during that time, actually on December 7th, at the Tzu Chi Education Strategic Meetings, principals from various Tzu Chi schools shared their educational footprints. Master Cheng Yen was very pleased and emphasized that all four major missions must focus on educations to cultivate talents and inject hope into the world. Therefore, that's why the topic chosen by Sister Su Ching is education has great potentials. We all know that education is a project of hope. In 2024, Tzu Chi's educational missions entered its 35th years. After charity and medical work, Tzu Chi began his educational mission with Master Cheng Yen's insisting on integrating humanistic values into the process, focusing on nurturing high-quality talent. Over 35 years, Tzu Chi's educational missions has encompassing the three teachings like oral, behavioral, and environmental teachings, and the 5 education, the moral side, intellectual, physical, social, and aesthetic education. It has flourished from a small seeds into a dense forest, like what we have been seeing today all over the world. So today, Tzu Chi has established this complete educational system that covers all stages of learning and fully implements the concept of holistic education. The images presented above only shows a small fractions of the achievement in the formal education. They could not really capture the brilliance and all the accomplishments. From here, we can see the holistic education part, focusing on this whole person development, covers all the educational levels, be it kindergarten, primary school, or secondary, university, nursing, medicine, and even graduate studies. These all, all this system we can see, especially in Taiwan. Okay, let's look at the Tzu Chi education from a broader perspective. Equally heartening is the development of Tzu Chi educational branches around the world where local community needs guide educational initiative. These programs based on love, it will include tutoring classes, children's growth classes, parents-child classes, Ta'i Mama, the Great Love Mother classes, community education promotion centers, reading centers, character buildings education, live education lectures or sessions. And here we also observe that the expansion of all these four major missions complements educations, forming a powerful force for good. So all these are charity, medicine, humanistic, all these are they all blend together very well. It's not like the missions are standalone in every sectors. So Tzu Chi educational achievements are truly fruitful, giving us confidence in the future. As long as we continue to work hard, we can make the value of education greater and further reaching. Education as a hope, project of hope. At the education strategy meeting, Master Chen Yan particularly reminded the principals and the teachers that education is a project of hope, and teachers and professors are the craftsmen of wisdoms. They must ensure the right direction. Master Chen Yan emphasized that the development of the four major missions depends on the cultivation of talents through this education, and Master hopes for the integrations of the four missions, where each mission can absorb the talent nurtured by Tzu Chi schools, with everyone sharing the same aspirations to manifest Tzu Chi's great love in various fields. Master Chen also said, with charity, medicine, and education, we must uphold our image. The image of the four major missions is the dignity and appearance we maintain. Master Chen Yan places great importance on the dignity and the image of the Tzu Chi people, as it is the key to displaying the spirit of Tzu Chi. Next, let us watch the video. But before that, we can see down there, there's this a nice poster talking about educating children with gratitude and love, so they become the hope of humanity future, according to Master Chen Yan during this education strategy conference. Okay, let's watch this video.
看见了我们所有的同仁都那么整齐，那就会肯定到了我们的事业体，人人呢都是保持了自己的品德哦，这样的品德教育，总是呢可以看见师生的仪表。看看我们的学生啊，每一回有关于教育的师生都会一起来，看到了学生呢，都是做得很端正，总是呢都不会有骚动的，总是看到不是那样的端庄仪表。就感觉到在好像教育的品质很好，这种教育优良品质。我们的教育呢，不只是为我们自己事业吧，是普天之下。
感恩 Master. Here we can see how Master discuss about the humanistic spirit and character education. Master Chen Yan explained, when we see all our colleagues are so neatly dressed in, it affirms that our vocational body and mission body are all maintaining their character. This character education can always be seen in the appearance of teachers and students. When we look at our students, every time there is an educational event, Teachers and students participating together, and we always see the students sitting upright and behaving properly with no disturbances, maintaining dignified appearances. That shows the quality of education is excellent. Okay, let's watch this video about this bamboo bank era.
全球慈济人也可以呀、去做起了竹筒啊，来弘扬慈济的精神，不是要钱，是要得台湾公店，也是竹提供的这个店哦，这种店哦，基台人人有这个点啊一见则气，大家人爱有志气啦，看到尼泊尔，他们也这样的纷纷好礼来除夕节。人虽然是贫，可是他们已经培育了心富有余了，就可以帮助人。看到了他们，我们给他们的米，他们每一餐要吃饭，从锅子里还是抓一把米，我们就是要学习缅甸这样的精神啊，我们也拿来可以在课堂上去跟孩子们讲故事，佛教为众生。
Allan Master, here can see that this video mentioned about the bamboo bank era as well as the moral education. Master Chen Yan explained, Tzu Chi people around the world can take this bamboo bank to spread the spirits of Tzu Chi, not to ask for money, but for virtue. In Taiwan, we say virtue, which is bamboo. We hope that the virtue of bamboo is joined. Its season will be cultivated by everyone. The background footage, we can see it's a background from the stories from Lumbini, where the Nepal volunteers introduced Tzu Chi bamboo bank years, encouraging villagers to accumulate small acts of kindness. In the video, the spirits of bamboo bank era is portrayed. Despite being poor, the villagers of Nepal and the farmers in Myanmar practices acts of kindness, showing the true meaning of heart wealth, the wealth of the heart. These stories can also inspire our children in the classroom. By inspiring love through all these promotions of goodness, Master Chen Yan hopes to spread and uphold the spirits of bamboo bank era in the 4 major missions, as this is the core strength of education. We see that Tzu Chi volunteers worldwide are inspired by Master Chen Yan's compassionate spirit, removing suffering while offering education rooted in great love, truly embodying the ideas of a life without measures, no borders. Okay, here we can see, okay, today world, digital world already. Digital can also be warm and heartfelt. So in this, what about this digital educator? We also see that Tzu Chi education combined with technology showcases unlimited possibilities. Many overseas Tzu Chi members have founded humanistic schools locally, and during disasters relief, they help rebuild schools in affected areas. With these connections, modern technology has given education wings. Networking connects the world, allowing students and teachers from different countries to share and exchange knowledge. As long as connections are established, every home can become a classroom, and everyone can participate in learning. Tzu Chi education has great potentials, with the 4 major missions working together to spread Dharma and benefit all beings globally. Okay, next. Okay. In fact, the Kaohsiung online book study, which is every weekly on Wednesday, so this Kaohsiung online book club itself is an excellent example of using technology to spread the goodness and educational spirits of Tzu Chi. Through this online platform, participants can easily learn and interact, while modern technologies serve as a platform to spread the Dharma, allowing the goodness of Tzu Chi to touch more hearts. With live streams, replays, and multilingual translations, in this Kaohsiung online platform, though it is presented in Mandarin, but there are various types of translation, English, whatever. I think most of the main languages we can think of, they do have translation. So through the efforts of all these translators, the volunteers, more people can access to it, realizing educations without boundary, without borders, learning without the restrictions of time or space. This online learning partner program is also the best example of how technology supports education. For example, Tzu Chi High School connects with overseas teachers and students rooting in Taiwan while they are based in Taiwan. And they can go across the world, travel around the world. Through these cloud-based teachings, love amplifies the positive power of technology. Okay, next. Spreading kindness and benefiting humanity. All achievement stems from education. Without education, there is no future. At the education strategy meeting, Master Chen Yan reminded the principals and teachers the 4 major missions will come together to spread Dharma and benefit all beings. This is our shared aspiration. The bamboo era years is the beginning of inspiring love, and this aspiration is to continue endlessly, passing on from generations to generations with everyone united in the same goal. The integrations of the 4 missions and spreading it globally is our greatest aspiration. This is actually this we can see, okay, this guiding reader is mainly taken from Education Strategy Conference. Education is the hope of the future. Tzu Chi education not only imparts knowledge, but also nurtures people with love and virtue, filling the world with great love and hope. Let each of us listen to the Dharma with sincere heart, accept Master Chen Yan's compassionate teachings, light up our own inner lamp, and in turn light the lamps of others. Let Tzu Chi's love and goodness in education reach its fullest potentials and manifest limitless possibilities. Okay, from these pictures, we can see that education is not just about teaching and learning knowledge and skills. It's also about inspiring love and kindness. Okay, as we still have 8 minutes before we pass on to the next sharer, which is Brother Allan. Okay, we have some. Okay, most of these clippings are taken from this Kaohsiung online book studies where they, though it's Chinese based, but because of the power of technology, we could translate into English. These warm words kind thoughts flow, encouraging phrases, striving for goodness, standing among people. I do not look down on others. Living in this world, I do not play mind games. I am simple, yet clear-minded. I do not seek approval from those who dislike me, nor do I try to please those who look down on me. I only want to move those who truly value me. Next, the most precious thought of kindness. Tzu Chi started with just 5 cents a day from 30 housewives saving grocery money. The most precious thing is a single kind thought, which has inspired many others. The 5 cents accumulated over time has directly contributed to the gradual completion of the 4 missions development, expanding Tzu Chi's charitable reach internationally. Where there is suffering, Tzu Chi volunteers arrive with aid, leaving behind footprints of compassion and sowing seeds of hope. whenever they go. That's the teaching of Master Chen Yan, February 13, 2015 at the Tzu Chi, during the Tzu Chi Volunteers Gathering. Okay, the next one, this one, lower desires, elevate kindness. Or see, education can be in different forms. So even in all these words of wisdom, to save the earth from destructions, the only way is to transform people's heart. By lowering desires and elevating kindness, we can bring blessings to humanity and eliminate disasters. People used to say, one good thought can dispel 1,000 disasters. Now we need millions and millions of good thoughts to find ways to remove the world's suffering. Therefore, we must accelerate efforts to inspire more people to do goods. That's by Master Chen Yan on February 17, 2015, Tzu Chi Charity and Volunteers Achievement Sharing. Okay, this from Sister Chang Jing-er, our humanistic leader. Broad heart, pure thoughts, beautiful and virtuous life. When your heart is broad, your world becomes broad. A broad heart means a broad world. A broad heart does not harm others. Pure thoughts do not harm oneself. Okay, it's from her collections, the 金丝 Reading Studio, 金儿师姐. Okay, 感恩 everyone for reading, and we are most grateful, even though we are, I think many of us are from English-speaking community, but through all this, we can translate into words and share with people. I recall recently after sharing these to certain chat groups, very grateful for the feedback we have. People who said they lost close one recently, like feedback received, lost a pet, very difficult to come out from the sadness. But because reading, but I didn't manage to find that keeping it was another something like this short words of wisdom by masters. The person managed to come out of the misery. So it's very important that if there's any good words, we can share with others. That's the power of in a way education. How can Sister Stephanie, if it's okay, I pass if Brother Chin is here, else I pass it to
Brother Jin is not in yet.
pass
So
it to Sister
I will
Stephanie.
take over the hosting from here. Okay,
感恩，感恩。
much, sister. So much, Sister Su Ching, for guiding reader today. Yeah. So now we actually move on to our first sharer today, who is none other than Brother Allan Chan. Brother Allan Chan, we also know, is Sister June's home brother, and he has just returned also from Taiwan, from the 4-in-1 camp. So we really look forward to hearing what Brother Allan has brought back to us through his sharing, safeguarding the earth by promoting environmental protection. Gaan, over to you, Brother Allan. The platform is yours.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Sister Stephanie and Sister Su Ching. Are you able to see my?
Not yet. Are we not seeing your slide? 1 minute. Okay, yes. Wow, beautiful slide.
This
Looking
is all
forward, brother.
These are all technology from the Canva.
Okay, Gaan.
Okay. Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Brother and sister, both masters, and thank you.
Sorry, brother. Can I just interrupt? Can you put it on slide mode? Have you? I think it's not on slide mode yet.
Oh, is it? Okay.
It's on notes. You have notes mode.
Okay.
Presentation mode.
Then I have to undo again first. Sorry.
Okay, it's okay. Take your time.
First time using Canva. Okay. Screen mode. Able to see this?
Yes, wonderful. It's in slide mode now. Gaan.
Okay. Okay, thank you everyone for coming today, and thank you all the brothers and sisters for allowing me to share a bit of myself, and also my thought about actually recycling, and also about safeguarding our future by actually promoting recycling. So a bit of my information. This is my name is Wing. It is Allan. My Chinese name is Chen Borong. Human name is Ben Shu. I'm based in Malaysia. Just for overseas brother and sister information. Okay, I got to know Zheji actually through our PCBC parent-child bonding class activity in 2015. I signed up for the training because I agree with the training Zheji education philosophy of expanding our children's mind and also to ensure that they have a right mindset in their when they are growing up lah. In 2019, I was certified and focused on environmental protection and also on the education mission now. So just a bit of information about my family. My home sister is Jun Chao, also become a Juji commissioner in 2023. My children are either graduated or still studying in Zheji International School, as you can see from some of the photos. I have been bringing me and my home sister. We have been bringing our children to do charity work and also to Zheji activities for a few years lah. One of the first one that is memorable one is actually the Penang flood, whereby that time I was still a Gen Z, and I went up with my home sister by the two of us to assist in the flood recovery operation. So key point for today, in actual fact, if I'm for all the brothers and sisters, recycling is actually about saving Mother Earth. But to reduce the damage is actually what we have humanity actually we have cast on her. But it actually is a short-term solution. To save Mother Earth is actually ensure our current what we are doing now is good, but our future must also continue to do the 5R and also follow the 5 proper process. And a lot of time there was a debunking on misconception on recycling and its effect. The reason why, as I have been doing a promotion to our recycling center, during all those ESG or CSR activities, I realized a lot of the students or the private companies, they have different concept, and some of them that may not hold it's not the information is not expensive, or they are not they do not understand it very well. So that is where we come in and try to debunk it. So for recycling, it's an integrated and a team-based effort, and it's not a one-person job. Instead, okay, next. So these are my journey. If started in 2015, Mandarin parent-child bonding. Year 2016, I joined the Zheji. In actual fact, my recycling road was never a straight road. I moved from one recycling center to another recycling center and to another recycling center, but before I went back to my home recycling center in Desapak. And actually, one thing about Zuji is whichever recycling center you go, all the volunteer will actually give you a lot of warmness and also a lot of guidance on even though they know you are from a different districts, and they will always consistently teach us on a certain on the certain items we need to do for the recycling. The thing is, I actually have been doing recycling for about 3 years. Then realized that the significance of sharing. I always ponder why we are doing recycling, yet there's nobody there to actually guide the data or the public who come in who are actually volunteering themselves at our recycling center. In terms even for about 1 minute. I'm not talking about those Gen Z or those permanent full-time volunteer that consistently come. I'm talking those ad hoc. Those ad hoc public are the one that actually spend 1 minute, 2 minutes, but they do not understand a lot about what we do besides just putting in all the recyclables. So after several years of practice and the passing of a mentor, I ponder whether I have the strength to continue forever. And thus, actually, that's where I started my recycling sharing journey. My passion, just for information, is to do recycling and also helping Mother Earth. I found this is a noble idea with a real world benefit since my young age. It's just that I did not find a right initiative. There are many in the internet. There were many when you were reading through the newspaper during my era, reading newspaper or going through magazines, but I could not find one that actually show the consistency, show the knowledge, show the proper platform, and actually have a whole ecosystem of actually doing recycling. So as then next, moving on. Okay, recycling sharing. Actually, talking is one of my forte and passion, while recycling is my passion mission. Combining both attributes has actually helped me to open the opportunity on what I can assist in helping Mother Nature in the Su Ching recycling mission. The reason for the sharing is public awareness. A lot of time, public have a lot of awareness on recycling, but they are not really sure. Beside the 3 bin, most places have 3 color bin: brown color, blue color, green color, or some is yellow color or even red color. But beside that, they do not have much understanding. So that is where our public awareness need. That is where I would like to come in and try to increase their understanding. Of course, it's a new volunteer recruitment. Once a while, you will see 1 or 2 Tata who are actually very interested, and they will join us for a few sessions, especially the children from the international school, whereby recycling is one of their subjects that they need to complete for their CCA. And also, it's actually a very good reminder for me on the recycling, because as we go continue to do our daily work, we always forget certain point. So by doing the sharing, actually it keep on reminding me about the information about the recycling. Okay, actually, Su Ching provide many platforms for recycling sharing information. I've been able to use several of the platform. Number one is actually the new volunteer training, the GNC. We were one thing, our recycling center was chosen as one of the several recycling center for promotion of the environment protection. So it was a very good session that we actually can promote to them all the different concept of the recycling, and also hopefully expand their knowledge on the different type of recyclables. The interesting one is actually the recycling point on every 3rd Sunday. That is one of my favorite part. Reason why is I'm the speaker for our point, which is at the roadside, beside a school. But the best part is beside a food court. And one side is a food court, another side is a park. So all the park people in the morning, when they go for their morning walk or their morning jog, after they have completed, they will actually walk towards the food court, and they will actually pass by our recycling point. And whenever they do that, it's a very good opportunity for us to give them a reminder about our recycling center point, and also to give them a slight 20-second guidance on what actually can be recycled, what cannot be recycled, and what we actually need from them if they do have. Of course, you can see here also we have the corporate ESG initiative. Almost on a monthly basis, there are at least 2 to 3 ESG initiative at our recycling center. And I think most of recycling center now also they are receiving a lot of invitation to promote recycling to the private sector. The last one is the school and education center. International school, even this coming Tuesday, we have about 250 children going to 5 different recycling center on this Tuesday morning. And we are actually will be there are 5 recycling center, so we'll be actually there to actually give them a sharing about recycling. So it's a very good part that we can actually teach the young children who are very how to say uh, still childish thinking a bit, but we will try to bring them up in that sense about what is recycling, how to do the recycling, and in actual fact, recycling is the last point and it's not the first point. Okay, so as you can see here, these are some of the location that we actually do. If you see the picture on the right side, you can see the road that actually lead up. In actual fact, every third Sunday we have a lot of new volunteers joining us as well, and they are actually we actually teach them in terms of the recycling, and hopefully we actually can inspire them to actually do more once a while. But this is like in the second picture in the me center is where we actually will actually guide them and teach them what is the real part of the recycling, why we do the sorting out, and what is the difference of the sorting. A lot of people just throw a lot of the wrapping, food wrapping into the recycling center, and it's actually a lot of them is rubbish. We need to explain to them why is it recyclable, not and it's not, and why it's not recyclable. And of course, if you can you on the left hand side you can see we do the private sectors. They come in different departments. Some come in branches, some come in departments, some actually in fact come as a club of the companies. Each of them actually have a different concept and different level of knowledge about recycling, and that's where we are actually very happy to actually explain to them the different levels of the recycling. As you can see, down there we even have university. Down on the right side, there's a university. I think that was Masa. They sent over 100 over the medical students over to understand a bit of the recycling. Of course, my point would be actually explaining to them about microplastic, as you can see in the middle, about how microplastic are impacting them, and asking them as a medical student to think and ponder what you can do in the future for our future generation and how you can actually assist us. One good part about our school, the recycling center, we on the left hand side, if you see there's one brother down there, he's doing compost. He's doing organic compost. And just for information, organic compost, you need to actually flip the material on a weekly basis. This is also I did not know until the daughter actually volunteered himself and come over and explain to us. He said, if you don't flip over the compost on a weekly basis, methane gas will be produced because there's no space for the organic material to compose. But if you flip it over, the oxygen will actually help the process, and it doesn't produce methane. So in actual fact, this is the proper way to save Mother Nature in terms of creating compost for our farm or vegetable farm. But importantly, we should do it without increasing the our Mother Earth temperature, because methane is actually a very strong gas in terms of storing heat. So here is always be trying to create the bright ideas to nurture the future generation by actually planting a small seed of discovery and understanding for the participant. There are many times the children have never seen some of the plant that we have in our farm. One day about this part recycling, we have one brother, a daughter, he dedicated himself for the last 10 years to do farming, either vegetable or fruit farm in our recycling center. So from there, we actually teach a lot of the young children, okay, you have had you have eaten banana, you have eaten dragon fruit, you have eaten tapioca, but have you seen the plant? So a lot of, I wouldn't say a lot, but at least we show to them this is the plant that we are growing, and it actually take longer time than what you see in the supermarket to grow those food for you to consume. And of course, there's the misconception of the 5R that recycling is one of the first option, but in actual fact, it's the last option. That is where I will bring in the example of Steve Jobs, Mark Zuckerberg of the 5Rs, and also Mahatma Gandhi as a role model for them. And of course, also explaining a bit more on the consumerism. But there were at times actually ask them a question. Did you actually see people in Malaysia that actually throw rubbish out of a car window without them realizing actually they are actually causing sea life destruction? As you can see in the middle picture, the 2050 there will be more plastic in the sea as compared to the sea life, but that has been been revised by the scientific community. Now it's 2040. Before the plastic, there will be more plastic in the sea than the sea creatures. So there is something that actually we also ponder to all the people who actually come, all the participants to come to whenever they come to our recycling center. And of course, one of the reasons for fresh flooding is also because of plastics. Plastic bags, they are actually very easy to clog up our drain system together with leaves and branches that fall from the trees on the side of the road. But plastic bag actually have a very powerful, blockage capability when they at our drainage system. Of course, a lot of them did not understand about the microplastic existent in our human body and the potential impact on our health. A lot of the time, they are just thinking that there is microplastic in the seafood, but nobody knew that every human now in the world have microplastic in their body. So every one of us here, you have microplastic in your body. It's just a matter of how the medical society are still researching how it is affecting us. Okay, conclusion. Recycling is actually a journey of discovery. To save oneself is to expand the joy of the Dharma. We should believe in future humanity to protect the Mother Earth. Cleaning the environment is by nurturing the future generation to the correct way of living, meaning living more simple, enjoy the environment more. And as some of the explanation from the books that Sister Su Ching say, you must have a broad heart and also a broad mind to think beyond your own self, and hopefully you can actually help to build a better person in terms of recycling. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you, brother and sister, for allowing me to share for about 10 minutes or 15 minutes. Sorry, I didn't take longer than that.
And so much, Brother Allan. Truly, I'm very grateful for brothers' insights and in-depth insights because of the experience in safeguarding the earth. And Master always say, those who safeguard the earth is actually protecting lives as well. Yeah. So very very heartfelt to see all the seeds of goodness that Brother Allan has sown through his journey in recycling into the minds of the young and the masses. Truly a great Dharma teacher this morning. Kan ơn to Brother Allan. Hope to invite you on to our platform again in the future. All right. So today we are also very lucky and very blessed and honored to have with us Brother Sean. Brother Sean is a peer practitioner from Jingsi Abode. Brother Sean is here, is it? Okay.
So we are very happy to have Brother Sean Tan with us this morning and to share with us his wisdom. And the platform is yours, Brother Sean.
And good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. Nice to meet you. It is my pleasure to be here to share with all of you. I think it has been a long time since my last sharing, and today I'm sorry for didn't provide topics beforehand. Yep. So today I'm going to share a little bit more about our innovations regarding Tzu Chi's compassion's technology. Yeah, so for I think most of you might know, but I will include some example on how we get into the recent products that we have for all the foldable beds, for blankets, and everything that we have. So all the innovations is actually coming for Tzu Chi Foundations is actually coming back from the compassions in action. So why we have all these products or like all these actions for the charity relief. So it's all comes back to the love. So Tzu Chi Foundations is not just a merely an charity organization. This is a faith-based NGO. And then yeah, I'm so grateful to be part of this organization. And then I have been in quite several of different disaster relief and charity involvement since my first disaster relief participations is in Taiwan. So I'm actually coming from Malaysia. For some of you might not know me. So my name is Sean. I coming from Malaysia, but I started to my master's degree in Taiwan, and then after graduations, I start my work in Tzu Chi Foundation in 2012, 2013. Yeah, and then since my first disaster relief in Taiwan, and then I start to get involved in more and more different disaster relief frontline experience. So recently I've been in I've changed my job. I mean, like, not recent. I mean, for these 5 years I have been working with Hualien as a special assistant. So I getting more and more understanding about the global context of the NGOs. So so this is actually one of the study that I come across. I feel interesting for where Tzu Chi is standing right now. So for Tzu Chi Foundations as the faith-based NGO, especially in the Asia context. So how an NGO, INGO, international NGO looks like in Asia, start from Asia. This is not something that is that common. I mean, in general, we know a lots of different NGOs coming from Europe region, American regions. I mean, like Save the Children, Rockefeller, Bill Gates and Melinda Foundations, and lots of the philanthropic and social innovations or NGOs that growing around the world. So you can see the numbers of NGOs is growing after 1975 or 1980s. So there are more and more NGOs is growing up. But how it distribute, I mean, the world NGOs distributed about 20 years ago. So this is quite dense. I mean, in the Europe and United States, but it's not that much comparative in the Asia region. So it is much lesser. But you can see the numbers of the people is actually, I mean, like the percentage change in the NGO densities in 2026, we can see more and more NGOs is growing, I mean, in the Asia region. So this is one of the study that we can see here. The numbers of headquarters, country headquarters of NGOs that we can see founded between 1990s and 1900 years to 2014 years. You can see there are a lot of dense NGOs in United States and Europe region, but it's not that much in Asia. So for Tzu Chi, so we actually founded in Asia region. So we are, I mean, somehow we are quite unique in a way that as a faith-based NGO, we can work across the world. In 138 countries we have been in for charity relief. But we are considered as a minorities for comparative for all the NGOs that is actually more dense in the Western countries, but not in the Asia countries. So you can see in the Asia region that NGOs is not that much comparative. So there was another studies that compare, I mean, from 1990s to 2000 after millennium. I can see the numbers is actually growing in recent years for Asia, but not in 1960s where Tzu Chi is founded. So we can see Tzu Chi is not merely an NGO, so it's not just like a normal charity organizations that you may come across in the Western countries. So from the logo, I think maybe quite a few of you might be certified, but maybe I'm not too sure. But this is some interesting about our logo. Maybe I want to emphasize a little bit on that actually brings to our topics. So in our logo, there's a petals of the lotus. I think that is quite well known. But in this logo, there's a ship, right? This is actually symbolic of relief the suffering people to the in the sea of the suffering. So we actually kind of like the sailor helping relieving the needy people. So on the ship, there's logo of the Buddhism. Okay, so sometimes, I mean, when we go to the Western country, the people might say, oh, why, there's a Nazi sign. This is not a Nazi sign, okay? This is symbolic for the Buddhism logo. So for all our actions, compassion, relief, Buddhism in action. So Tzu Chi in Mandarin, okay? Some of you might recognize the words here, Tzu Chi. Compassion, relief. So we mean that. We really mean that. So that's a short video I found out that which is quite interesting. I mean, across the world, when I have a chance to share about Tzu Chi Foundation charity relief or our works, I will use this one. I mean, this is quite interesting. I mean, short, but this is quite nice to know on how we can introduce to, I mean, non-Tzu Chi on what we have worked on the charity involvement. So I would like to share with you for this video.
At the Tzu Chi Foundation, we believe in the power of good deeds, good health, a good education, and modern wisdom. And from east to west, we've met many who have had a little trouble with our name.
That was the introduction to the Tai Chi Foundation. It's not Tai Chi. Oh, no, not Tai Chi. Say it for me.
Sushi? Sushi?
Hello, Cindy. Is that Cindy?
Say sushi.
We've made so many friends who come from all corners of the world and all walks of life. We care about people.
Gracias, sushi. Gracias.
Sushi? Sushi? Sushi?
Gracias a sushi.
We care about our home, the earth.
We are Tzu Chi. So number one, I would like to bring up the Su Ching Foundation. If you can please come up to the stage.
We care about those who will inherit it, our kids.
Thank you, Sushi, for helping me. 谢谢 Sushi. 我爱你.
Thank you, Sushi.
No matter who you are, where you are, or how you say our name, we are always ready to help.
Really appreciate you folks. Hello to Fuji.
Thank all you Tai Chi clinics.
谢谢 Suji. Thank you for being here. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Su Ching.
Thank you, Su Ching Foundation.
God bless you.
Thank you very much.
We are compassion. We are relief. We are the Tzu Chi Foundation.
As an NGO, I mean, the faith-based NGOs coming from Asia country, a lot of the people coming from different region, they can't really pronounce our organization names easily, but gradually we have been started from Taiwan, but right now we have been more than 136 countries. We have been in for humanity and AIDS for 136 countries, and that all come back to for our founder, Master Cheng Yan. I think that's something that I'm impressed after I get know some the data. I mean the research from the from the academic. So they share that actually Tzu Chi, there's something making a huge social innovation that I didn't even aware that we did that. I mean, our masters, our founder did that. Social innovation. This is some fancy term. I mean, for recent years, you can see in different conferences or like different forum that there are lots of fancy names for the NGOs saying that, oh, how well they are working. I mean, towards the welfare of mankind. So I didn't notice that our founder, Master Cheng Yan, have all those great achievement. I mean, back 40 years ago, that in our first Hualien hospital that we started, that considered as a great, huge impact. I mean, social innovation, especially in Asia region, that doesn't has much example back then in 1980s. So the researcher, I mean Mr. Lee, Dr. Lee, Chen Bang, during his sharing, he told us that actually something that changed the society, it always comes from innovation, which is our topic today. Masters is not just starting some, I mean, innovations in terms of blankets or like foldable beds. It's come from the model, charity model. So Tzu Chi Hospital was the greatest grassroots social welfare movement in Taiwan history. Even now, I mean, maybe a lots of different cases they have used a similar way, but in 1980s in Taiwan, which is still a underdeveloped, maybe like developing countries, which is not well fed. Is during those days, I mean, 1960s, 70s. This is not some like the developing or developed countries. A lots of people they are still facing famine. They are underpaid or something. There are lots of social issues that those time, but masters able to start the greatest grassroots social welfare, and starting to be a pioneer of modern crowdfunding initiative. Crowdfunding might be some words that popular recent years. For this 10 to 20 years, I mean, we can see a lots of crowdfunding platform online to get all the funding for non-profits or like profit purpose. But during those days, 1980s, this is not something that is common. So masters doesn't, I mean, like doesn't even, I mean, like speculate that will be some consequences or right results until this day, but it all comes back to the compassionate initiative. So what does Tzu Chi special? I mean, in recent years, there are lots of different NGOs that have so rich, they have so many monies, they have so many different achievement. But what makes the Tzu Chi difference? So in the social innovation context, you can see Tzu Chi innovations in hospital construction process. Masters actually in having a lot of non-traditional fundraising model. So you can see a lot of Tzu Chi story you might come across or not. A lot of the Tzu Chi volunteers, they are actually kind of like the agents of crowdfunding. So we have a lot of commissioners that collect continuously. During those days, they didn't have any website or like Line, WhatsApp, or any social media those time. But we have a lot of volunteers coming with the similar or the same minded with master to be compassionate into the action. So we started crowdfunding, getting not a single donors. Like, I'm not sure if you're aware, during our first hospital, there's a donors coming from Japan would like to donate about 300 million, if I'm not calculate it wrong. Yes, 300 million NTD dollars. But no, 3 billion, I think, is, if I'm not getting wrong, some huge amount that can cover at least more than half of the total amount that the hospital needs. But Masters didn't get that, but she insists to have crowdfunding. Also, that is something is so different with the traditional ways to get all the funding. So Masters didn't approach the huge donor, but she goes for the grassroots, for the people, for the crowd. So in a lots of different approach for NGOs, there will be leaders leading by some few key men. For example, like you can see in Rotary Club, Lion Club, and different NGOs or like non-profits, there'll be some leaders. They'll be guiding or like dominate the whole organizations. But in Tzu Chi, we can see each of the volunteers, certified volunteers, they are the one that can mobilize, they can makes the difference. So that is actually quite a innovation way compared to the traditions way that who got the money, who got the saying. So Tzu Chi is quite different. So we include everyone. Everyone have the power to make a change to the society. So for the gradually we have more and more participants from different stakeholders, for example, like entrepreneurs. So we are actually starting to have 实业家 entrepreneurs team for our NGOs. So we gradually started to have different new way for Tzu Chi foundations to get the funding donations. So you can see this is a very innovative way. I'm not sure all of you might be aware, but I've come across of this research. I'm so impressed that, wow, Master Cheng Yan Sangren did something that really changed how Taiwan's NGOs model. So we have a lot of innovations and globalization way that is not something that can replicate, that can easily replicate. So I was in Bangkok last month for UN event, UN Escape for sharing. So what makes people impressed is not just our innovations on the hardware, for example, like blankets, foldable beds. This is not only the things that makes them impressed, but how we can mobilize the volunteers around the world. So this is something that is impressing them. Today, I will go a little bit more on how all the social innovations, Tzu Chi charitable technologies, and how Tzu Chi works with all these, the researchers, and also how we develop these charitable technologies that we have. So in Tzu Chi Foundations, I'm not sure if you're aware, we have quite a few of different sectors that we're working quite in depth for disaster relief, especially like in Asia region, Asia Pacific regions. It come across like more than 70%, 60% to 70% of the global disaster happen is in our region, Asia and Pacific region. So we are actually disaster prone countries, I mean in Asia Pacific. So the world highest risk of disaster is actually in Philippines. So this is the first most vulnerable countries in the world. Why? Because they have typhoon that happens. It always struck Philippines. And then the second, they have earthquake too. So they have a lots of nature disaster that can happen in the Philippines. So in Asia regions, we need a lot of preparations. So in recent years, they have a lot of promotions of mitigations of disaster, adaptations of disaster, resilience and everything. But we started that much earlier. I mean, in 2013, Haiyan typhoon in Philippines, I think most of you might know. Masters start to think it's not that's not something that we start all the innovation. So this is something that we can make ourselves aware that recently there's a lots of raining. This is rainy season in Malaysia, and then Johor, southern part of Malaysia, is flooded right now. So we have a lots of water during floods. You can see there are a lots of water here and there, but why can't we use the water? So masters ask our staff, so why don't we utilize the water? We try to have a mobilized system for water purification. So you can see there's a huge system that we co-works with the Taiwan's industrial training and research department, something like that, Taiwan 工研院, to start to research on how we can have a high performance and safe measurements for the water purification system. So we have a huge system that comes with the solar panels, but I think that is just not available in other countries. But I think maybe Philippines and Taiwan, we have that. So this is quite a complete water purification system that can support for the whole village. So this system we can support for the whole system village. But we found out that such a huge truck for water purification is not that easily mobilized. It's just not that easy to get into the disaster area, especially during flood. You can't have such a huge truck to be in the disaster area. So must just start to create different model. I mean, you can have a smaller scale water purification system. You can have some middle-size, mid-size purification system, and you have a mini size. So this is the small and mini size of water purification system that you can easily to support in the rural area. So in one of in just the water sectors, you can see how many different ways we can have for the water purification system. So for the food, you can see that's the first version. Why we started with this food truck? We can see a lots of different like food truck along the streets, but the food truck is not that easily way to support a huge the populations after the disaster. So masters try to ask our volunteers and also some different stakeholders to think, how can we mobilize? Because our volunteers always prepare hot meals, 便当, 便当 for the villages that is in the disaster area. So how can we help them? Master said, why don't we have something mobilized, can be mobilized? So they start up with a normal truck, and then they design a little bit, and then this is the first version. After that, they found out that the truck that bind with all the disaster relief system altogether. So this truck is not usable. I mean, non-disaster period, this truck can't be used because this is all integrated into this truck. So during normal days, this truck will be unusable. So Master said, why don't we have a more mobilized way? So gradually, you can see for the first version, second versions, it's gradually changed. So from the truck, the car, the food truck, and then this is the mobilized way, how we can make it much more we can disassemble and then reassemble. I mean, for the food truck. So you can see if there's a disaster, so this mobile kitchen we can easily dispense to the disaster area, and then this truck we can fully utilize it. So maybe this truck, they can be sending all the waters, or like they can sending all the hot meals to the villages. So we can fully utilize all the tools that we have here. So this is how Masters is so mindful on each of the details. You can see there's different versions. Each of the truck mobile kitchen, they have 6 spaces. So in these 6 spaces, we can have different sets of the setting. For this setting, they have 4 rice cooker, but in some countries they might not using rice cooker. They might using steamer, or like they're using they have more food they're using. I mean, like the fried foods and everything. So the rice cooker can be disassembled, and then they can change different components. But that's not enough, right? So instant rice. So instant rice is so something that is so interesting, because Masters found out that during one of the charity distribution, Masters saw one old woman sitting there, and then we provide her like 15 kilograms to 20 kilograms of rice. But you can see in the distributions, they're walking for such a huge distance, a long distance to be there, and then they can't have any food. They have to bring all the rice back to the home. And how we can feed them, or like in disaster area, how can we instantly provide them meals? So this is one of my experience in Serbia to help the Syrian refugee. So we can see a lots of them. I mean, they are in trouble, poor living conditions, and then they have a very bad conditions to get. They are actually all the food. The children that you can see, only the adults get the foods. So you can see the children. He is standing behind the fan, and then his hand is not long enough, so he's only pushing by all the crowd behind. So what is the food that makes them rushing for? This is not something, I mean, like so appetizing, but this is how they get it every day. Buns, water bottles, I mean, like drinking waters, canned food and everything. But what is their food that usually have in in their own country? From Afghanistan, from Pakistan, from Syria, they're actually having rice. So they're having all the bad foods in bad conditions, the molded bad breads. So after we analyzed, we found out that they're coming from different ethnic, culture, religion. So rice is more preferable. So we have instant rice for them. And then that actually makes
adding dehydrated vegetables, rice, and hot water to the thermal bucket before stirring them. City volunteers are demonstrating easy steps taken to prepare instant rice, which was just transported from Taiwan to Serbia. The members of Commission for Refugees and Migration are impressed since no stove was used during the process. The volunteers have also invited 30 refugee representatives from Afghanistan, Iraq and Syria to try tasting instant rice. Haven't tasted rice for
So we can see, because we are actually stopped by the Commission of Refugee in Serbia to have any food. I mean, we can't, and no any single NGOs are allowed to cook any food in the region because they are afraid that the food might be, I mean, not fresh enough or like toxic or anything. So the commissioner not allows any NGOs to cook the food. I mean, like using the fire. So what we have instant rice that really impress them, and then we actually adapt to their belief, cultures, changing the ingredients. I mean, we have Asia's type of instant rice, and we have the local type of instant rice too, that we customize the instant rice for them. So all the innovations, technologies that we have is all comes back to the origin, the first few slides that I've mentioned, compassion, relief. So we are not there. It's just feeding them. Like you can see how others organization, even this is actually the UN-based organization, finishing their duties to provide the refugee foods to make sure that they are not hungry, but they didn't, I mean, like really care about their religion, belief, cultures, or like what is the food that really likes. So we do interview, having a sampling session with 30 different refugees coming from different countries to get their feedback. And then the commissariat of the refugee remind us of risk for not having fans during queuing, or like the risk of refugee eat in the dining hall. The dining hall doesn't use, I mean, before Su Ching came into the refugee camp, the dining hall is not using, I mean, no one is using the dining hall, I mean, for food, for lunch or dinner. The dining hall only used for some discussion, meeting with the refugee. That is not a place for them to have meal because they're afraid that there will be like chaos happen. Because the refugee crowd that you've seen is not merely coming from Syria. They speak different language. They are coming from different countries. They have different belief. So they're afraid that, yeah, that is not, I mean, safe to have food together for all the refugees coming from different countries. So they will suggest us, why don't we provide instant rice using the same way? I mean, like behind the fence, there will be make sure that we are all safe. But we insist that because we will be make sure that we will be showing our gratitude, respect, and love, and then we make sure that the commissariat, with all our actions for the first few days, we do have sampling sessions with them. And then you can see our volunteers, Brother Rudolf, coming from German, he himself, making sure all the refugees and we all the volunteers get feedbacks from the refugees, and then telling them everyone will get the food, not to worry. And then we can see what is the changes. The children behind the fence, I mean, getting the foods, and then how miserable he looks like. I mean, after Su Ching came in, we provide food in a better way. So it changed the way on how the people acting. Before Su Ching coming, they are protesting, they are arguing for their welfare. But Su Ching coming, we are not, I mean, like having them, I mean, like to have a lot of debate with them. Don't protest. No, we show in action how we treat them, and then they treat us back in the same way. So after they have the meal, they clean the scenes with us. They make sure that everything is come back into order, and they even bring us, invite us to the wedding and also their New Year. So we can see how we treat them. They will treat us in the same way. So for the shelter, you can see we have a lot of different versions. So this is the version that we have, the latest version that we use in a lot of country. And you can see there's a air ventilations. and then the windows is sliding. I mean, previously for the first version, I didn't see the first version. We have a lot of version. So this is one of the latest version. And then you can see the version that we have in Philippines. We have that in Taiwan too. I mean, to make sure that all the building that is still stands still. I mean, the building that is stands still in Taiwan, then that means it is still stands still in Philippines. So we have different design to make sure that they are usable. So one of the story I faced in Nepal, I was working with the education cluster for UN OCHA. So the all I can't really pronounce tell the full name, which is the coordinators for the disaster area. So OCHA, UN OCHA. So that's an education cluster. We receive information from them saying that all the guidelines, all the rebuilt temporary classroom should be looks like this. They'll be using the local materials. They'll be using the fastest way to giving them the temporary classroom. So this is the temporary classroom given by the UN educations that designed by the UN Habitat. Yes, UN Habitat is the organ NGOs, no, the UN bodies to design the classroom, give all the measurement for us. So we have the measurements, but we didn't use all the local materials. So this is the temporary classroom that they have in Nepal. But before we leave Nepal, just about 3 months, monsoon started after April. I mean, 2015 disaster in Nepal. About like April. Before I leave Nepal, we can see the building started to deteriorate. So we can see when there's a raining, inside the classroom it's just so noisy. Whenever there's a sunny day, inside will be so hot and humid because there's a monsoon season started from June. But masters insist we doesn't want to have them just a temporary classroom. We want to having them to have semi-permanent classroom. So our volunteers went back last few years, and then they saw that the semi-permanent classroom is still stand still, but they reuse it in different way because they have already rebuilt some of the classroom. So this semi-permanent classroom, they use it on top of the building. I mean, they have, using in different way. So last year, November 6th, I went to Philippine boreholes, which is 10 years after the disaster. We can see the semi-permanent classroom is still stand still because some of the countries, they didn't have enough funding to rebuild the schools. So they're still using the same thing, but in a better way. So we can see how masters will look at all the accessory, all the innovations products that we have, how it can be sustainable. So during those days, lighting lampposts we have with solar panel, foldable beds, blankets, and all the accessory is all come back to the first origin thoughts. How we can help the needy people. So this is the photos that we can see in the disaster area, the children sleeping on the floor, and then how we can help them. This is the photo that I took when I was in Nepal. So yes, we provide them tent, for the first stage, but how they can stay inside the tent. So you can see how sad these children looks like. The waters keep coming in, and how to keep the water away from their tent. So after we provide them, this is the first versions of the foldable base. This is not actual foldable. This is the first versions of PP. And then this is they have they just put it together, and then but this is only usable for like 1 or 2 months. It's just not that long. But after we invent the foldable beds, we send it to Nepal. Then they use it in a very, very good way. I think this is the first country that we started to have using foldable beds. So you can see how much change for the family members. So yes, they still having monsoon season. They're still having waters coming in. But at the night, I interviewed this woman, and then this woman told me that she has to carry the children in the midnight previously, and then squatting. She didn't have any place to stay. I mean, she has to squat and then hold her children for the whole day to make sure that the children not getting wet from the water on the ground, or even getting wet from the raining outside. So she can only squatting there and then get the children, make sure that the children get enough sleep, but she herself can't do anything. So after we have the photo babies, everything is getting better and better. So we can see how things get gradually change from about 7 years ago, there was a earthquake in Hualien. Yes, this is how we help them, providing them foldable beds, blankets that we well know. But there's lack of privacy. The people said, yeah, we need privacy. We need our a personal space, but we didn't have that. But after they giving us feedback, so we try to make some innovation. And you can see we have foldable tents right now, so they have their own privacy. So right now, this is I think this is quite a new videos that we have 6 months ago. This is all the complete sets of disaster relief set accessory that we have. So we can see how gradually things get improved based on our finding in the disaster area. What is the real needs for the people? So it all comes back to the compassion relief. So when we see the people in needs, so how we can relieve them in action. Buddhism in action. We take the action, but it's all comes back to the compassionate hearts. So all the innovations that we have in Tzu Chi, it all comes back to our founder, our Master Cheng Yan, on how we can help the people frontline for the real solutions. It's not the fancy ways. I mean, Tzu Chi, we are not really working on those fancy terms, fancy actions, or like fancy promotion, but we all works daily from day to days on our daily field works, and we see how we can improve to help the people much more in a better way. I think that's all for today's sharing. So if you have any questions, welcome to raise your hands, and then we can have a interactions. If not, that's all from my sharing. Thank you so much.
感恩 innumerable 感恩 to Brother Sean Tan for bringing us so many wonderful innovations and insights into disaster relief. Truly very heartwarming and very proud to be part of Tzu Chi and to see these innovations as we continue to serve the needy with more wisdom in our actions. Okay. Yeah, a lot of cool information in your PowerPoint, one of our comments. And a wow to the technology. 感恩 Brother Sean for the very insightful sharing on social innovation. Yeah, we're all very, very blessed to be part of this social innovation as well. So yeah, are there any comments or any questions that you'd like to ask Brother Sean? Truly very grateful. Yes, Brother Sean, every time you come on board, right, you will bring a lot of insights for us. Thank you so much. Anyone? Any questions? No, Okay, so yeah, I'm mindful the time is already 8:04 and it is the end of our session for today. So before we end, can I invite everyone to please switch on your video so that we can take a group picture with Brother Sean and our sharer today, Brother Allan. Yeah, so the topics are really gel in nicely today. Yeah, Brother Allan also serving in the environmental protection. Yeah, with more protection, there will be less disasters. Okay, right. Can we have all the other sisters to switch on? Brother Chin also has joined us. Good morning. All right. So, who is helping us take the picture? Sister Effie, right? Okay, 好，感恩。Okay, all right. 感恩 everyone. And感恩 to our sharer, Sister Su Ching, Brother Allan, and Brother Sean Tan. We hope to invite you back to the platform again in the very near future, Brother Sean. Okay, so感恩 all the brothers and sisters for your time joining this platform once again. And we'll come to the closing of our session for today. And before we leave, we'd like to dedicate all the merits that we have from this wholesome session to all the people who are suffering. May they receive these blessings and then be free from their suffering wherever they are. So before we end, we'd like to also pay homage to the Triple Gem and Sangren by offering 3 sincere bows. Everyone, please rise. Palms together. First bow. Second bow. And third bow. And a bow to our abode Shifus who could join us today. So with that, we come to the end of our session for this Saturday, and感恩 all the brothers and sisters. See you again next week. Bye-bye.